Give it up for Derrick Collins.
Good evening. My name is Derrick Collins, and I am the Program Director of Mr. and Ms. Mentoring. I am a clinical therapist, and I am from Brooklyn, New York. My goal today is to speak to you about mentoring, how you can be a part of it, and the impact that it makes. So after consulting my business partner, ChatGPT, we found out that really summarizing mentoring is really just supporting somebody that has challenges. So when you're dealing with at-risk youth, challenges are something such as trauma, disabilities, poverty, drug use, and even violence. So when you think about where a kid spends most of his time, it's at home. So I was lucky enough to have two parents in my household. A father, a therapist of 40 years. He provided me discipline and he provided me structure. I had a mother, a teacher of 40 years. She provided me nurturing, and she was my biggest cheerleader. She also kept me involved with certain things such as baseball, basketball, track and field. I could really remember her yelling louder than the crowd when I was in the race. Number two, I would say is school. That's when people are dealing, or kids are dealing with their teachers. They have their nurses. My stomach was always hurting. We have our gym teachers. We have our guidance counselors, and a plethora of them. But number three is the big part. That's where our kids have a lot of free time. That's where social media is involved. That's where the music is influencing them. And it's also when a lot of their friends who could possibly be negative influences are around them most. 80%. So out of my program, we service over 100 kids. So out of those, 80 of them are single parent homes, which means that they have 50% of the support that I had growing up. This is translating into Volusia County. I want you guys to pay attention to the statistics. We are higher than the Florida rate when it comes to dropping out and juvenile offenses. Why do you guys think that is? Let me give you an example. Meet Antoine. Antoine I met when he was in the 7th grade, even though he was supposed to be in the 9th. He couldn't get along with any of his teachers. That's why he was homeschooled. He couldn't get along with any of his peers. That's why he didn't have any friends. So what I did was I engaged with him and I gave him other alternative healthy options, such as working out, such as trying a sport out, a lot of different things that he would never have even thought of, you know. And at the end of the day, he did graduate. Let's meet Nate. Nate I met as soon as he went into high school. Nate struggled from depression as well as anxiety, even though he had two parents in his household. Nate tried to hurt himself not once, but twice. One time he jumped in front of a truck. The other, he looked down from the 3rd story at school, contemplating if he wanted to jump. Once again, Nate graduated. Now meet Josh. He's the legs at the top of this picture. He is an overachiever. He is a standout. He was an honor roll student. So it doesn't mean that things that causes issues doesn't mean that you can't excel. He is a neighborhood role model. He now peers some of our younger kids. And once again, Josh graduated. He's going to FSU, by the way, go Noles. So if you see a common theme, mentoring does work. You just have to figure out what part and impact that you want to make in that. 55% are more likely to enroll in college. I don't think that's a coincidence. And the statistics show higher attendance, higher GPA, and less behavioral issues, as well as crime. Those are some of those things that mentoring does have an impact on. How can you help? So I would call this where you are more in tune with yourself. You have to be more intentional about what you're doing because, to be honest, the people closest to you are the people that you are usually mentoring. Another way you can do it, of course, is becoming a mentor, like myself. There's plenty of places such as Mr. and Ms. Mentoring, No Longer Fatherless, and Big Brother and Big Sister. For the people that can't give that time and add value to the kids, there's also ways that you can help. Guess what that is? You can support, you can sponsor places such as Mr. and Ms. Mentoring, No Longer Fatherless, and Big Brother, Big Sister. In closing, that is Josh to the left of me, by the way. That is Josh when he was a lot younger. But in closing, what I would say is mentoring is a bridge. The bridge is between a kid who can be something and a kid who isn't going to be something. That is where you come into play. Be that bridge.